I'm going to show you the Lazy Granite toolkit. We'll unbox it and explain the individual tools, but before I do that, I'm going to show you the QEP lash tile leveling system. So I've got two 12 by 12 tiles here. One's a little bit thicker than the other. When I run my fingers across, there's a bit of a lip. To exaggerate that, I'm actually going to put a blade underneath one of the tiles so that now the tile's maybe a good 1/4 inch taller. The QEP system is comprised of two components. We've got the spacers that go underneath the tile, and then we've got these wedges. So let's give it a try. I'm going to lift up the tile, put one of these under each. You can see already it's more level than it used to be just because it's trying to hold it up. Now I'm going to put the wedge inside, and as I do it, notice what the wedge does. It lifts up the tile so that it's flat across the bottom. As I push it through, it continues to raise it up. I can squeeze it back together to reduce the space, but this is pretty much perfectly level now. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Now, one tool that's not included with the toolkit, it's optional, are the QEP pliers. They're designed specifically for the lash system, and these allow you to squeeze through a bit more. So if you're doing a big project, this makes it a lot easier on your fingers and will allow you to be a little bit more precise. So now you can see these tiles are pretty much perfectly flat now. There's no lip at all. When we run something across, tiny, minute. So you can see how easy it is to level tiles when they're as crooked as a 1/4 inch. Now let's open up the toolkit. Toolkit, first of all, it's got a mallet, it's got a sponge, a nice trowel. I'm sorry, that's a float. This is your trowel. And then we've got the QEP lash system. So we've given you 60 wedges and 60 spacers. That's included in the kit. Now let me explain each of these. First of all, the trowel. This is to trowel across the mortar that goes underneath the tile. The float is for your grout, and it smears the grout inside of your grout lines. It's important to have a nice float because with a flimsy float, it's easy to miss tiny little gaps, and you won't see them until after you clean the grout lines. So we've got a nice molded rubber float here. This is professional grade right here. The mallet you're going to use to level across tiles to make sure that they're completely sunken. You don't want to hit too hard, of course. The second thing that the mallet can be used for is to get rid of the lash tile leveling system. Once your mortar is set, the tile is going to be in place, it's not going anywhere, and to get rid of this top portion of the spacer, all you do is give it a little whack. Now this tile is flinging back, but the mortar should have held it. If we had mortar here, and that's it. You don't necessarily have to use a mallet every time. You can pretty much just hit it with your hand or with your foot. They're on the floor, and these come right apart. Now you can grout, use your float, and then use a sponge to clean everything off. So the toolkit includes pretty much everything you need to get this going. Shouldn't forget the bucket. We use this bucket to mix the mortar as well as the grout. If you have any questions, please let us know.